Hey, Steph's World, number 47, part 2. Part 2. Told you it was going to be fast. Okay, remember I said that? I don't have time to waste here. Okay, things are happening in our world. I just put out a couple of videos that I think are important. Very important for people to pay attention to. You know, if you're not challenged, as some of us are, me and Mr. Kane, remember him? Well, I think I'm going to try to show you what it's really like. Hold on a minute. This is me standing up. Okay? You see that? This is me standing up. Notice something different about that? What do you suppose is different? I can't straighten my body out very well, can I? Yes, I do take pictures of me on occasion of actually being straight up and down. Very occasionally. Those are special circumstances when I force my body to get in a straight position. I have my old back brace. I've been thinking about putting it on nowadays at night. Maybe it'll stop the seizures that I'm having. I have marks all over my arms, up in here, my legs, and they're little tiny legs, by the way. There's not much to me, I'll be honest with you. I'm not very big in most places. And so, you know, we're talking a tiny little woman that can hardly walk. King time. Now, after I did that crazy cruise with my daughter, that was for her. And the reason I did it was because my child died. My son, my dear, darling, loving son, passed away. Any of you have kids out there? Just imagine losing one of them. Please, try to imagine it. Because, first of all, I don't think you even could. I don't think you could even begin to imagine losing that child until you really have. And then, after you lose them, if you do have any other children, you want to do whatever you can to make those other children close to you, happy, anything you can to bring some happiness and peace to them and yourself. Believe me, I went through it. I went through it. Now, the last deal I told you about all the things that happened to me. You should watch it if you haven't. And if you know about it now, I want you to think about it. Put yourself in that place if you can. You think you're going to be in great shape, healthy, be able to do a job, drive a car? I'm a wild woman. I don't give a damn. I go out and I'll drive anyway, even though sometimes I have difficulty, but I do it. I do it. I used to ride a motorcycle, and I keep reminding myself of that. Steph, at one point you wanted to be a race car driver, and I did. That's how good I used to be driving a car. So I decided, no, we're going to drive as long as we can. Okay, now, hush, my cell phone. It's you guys, actually. You know, the thing of it is about me and about other people like me is that, well, a lot of us, after many years of being this way, you know, we got used to it. And every month, we have to go see a doctor about our problems as being in this condition. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's called pain management. Now, none of these doctors are pain people like us. They just read books about us. They haven't actually had a serious pain problem. A few have. And I know him. I met him in Kansas City. He was really wonderful. He had migraines, and I don't know what the problem was, but they were just horrible. Horrible. And he taught at the Mayo Clinic for a while. And he taught new doctors or doctors who were wanting to become pain management doctors. Now, let me tell you one of the things that he suggested that they all do. He told them to put one of those clips that you use for hanging your clothes up on your ear. Now, I want you to imagine that. This is one of those wooden ones, you know, that snap. They snap shut. I used to have one just to demonstrate it. And have them put it on the end of their ears. And they're not allowed to take them off at all for at least 1 week. They cannot take it off for a whole week. And he made them do that. That was one of his exercises. And when they did that, they found out they had just a slight test, a slight idea of what we live in and day out. And it doesn't end at 10 o'clock at night. Sometimes some of us have seizures and we come to in the middle of the night. And our bedspreads are all gone and we got stuff all over us, bumps and hurts. In fact, we got one right here. And bruises that we can't figure out where they came from. And I got pictures of my feet on February 21st that are just horribly ugly. Just try to imagine that. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's happening. The federal government's getting in the way of the medicines that some of us have to take. And by the way, some of us are allergic to a good many of those medicines, those handmade medicines that didn't come from the natural plants that, whatever you want to call it, your God or whatever created this universe and this planet that we live on, it has all that we need. Poppy seeds are everywhere. Now, why would we create synthetic medicine? You tell me why. And then on top of that, do you know how many people are actually taking what they call, medicine that's for your depression? Why are so many people depressed? I'm not depressed. Fortunately, I don't have to take that crap. But some of you are, and you take it every day. That's a drug addict to me. Because there's other ways of dealing with that depression. You don't have to take a stupid drug for that. But unfortunately, when you have a broken back, when you had a broken neck, when your spine is being squished to that point, when you don't have bowel control anymore, when you're losing urination control and you got to wear diapers. Imagine that. Better be counting your blessings. Do gratitude list. Try that one out, okay? And pray for us who are really ill, who really do have, Mr. Keen and I really do have problems. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something else. And then we're going to get on with some important stuff. Beginning about, the month and a half ago, I started getting a new kind of drug. It was supposed to be the same as what I normally used to take. It was a substitute, replacing it. Well, I could tell immediately it wasn't the same, and I started having a reaction to it. So I called up the company themselves, and I said, hey, we got a problem. When I took my other drug substitute, I never had these kind of problems. And I live in a nightmare world as it is. I mean, I've learned to be happy in my world. I've learned to find peace. But it's very difficult to focus and meditate when you're in such severe pain that the tears are just running down your face and you're not crying. Your body's crying, but you're not. So I called these people up, and guess where they were from? Take one guess. India. Now, you know, I like all you people from India. I used to work with a few of you. We brought in some contractors when I was a computer programmer, and a lot of them were from India. And I'm not saying you guys have issues, okay? I think it's the manufacturer that you work for. You're not making our meds right. And I told this one guy that I got a hold of that I'm going to take one of those pills and have a chemist evaluate it. And if you think I'm kidding about that, I'm not. I'm going to go do it. And if I find out that it is not a substitute for my medication that I must take, or I will be in a hospital, there will be no way I can live life like this. I cannot talk to you on a video. I cannot take pictures of me. I cannot get on YouTube. I cannot write blogs anymore. I cannot function at all if I don't have help. That's just daily living. That's not being an addict. You see all this stupid crap on TV, and it's stupid crap. People like me are not addicts. We don't like taking any drugs. Some of these people do drink alcohol. Anything to help them. And that's horrible. If they do that, it's horrible. But they're doing it because they feel like they have no other choice. Well, they do have a choice. I'm here to tell you that they do, and I'm here to tell them that they do. I'm going to fight this. I'm not going to let the government get away with this. God didn't create the poppy for nothing. We're supposed to use it. And not for recreational use. God put everything we need as human beings on this earth. And if you don't believe in God, I don't care. Think of it as some universal idea. But it's there for us. And whatever our needs are. But when I see nurses talking about their antidepressants that they take, that's scary. You better ask yourself, why are antidepressants okay, but the real stuff, if we were taking the real stuff, we wouldn't even have to take as much of what we have to take. Now you ask yourself that. And why is our federal government stopping the shipments of the drugs that we have been taking for years because we had broken backs and we had broken necks and we had brain aneurysms and we had migraines that you can't even begin to imagine, and we have body seizures and we have tremors. Now you tell me. You respond to my video and you tell me. I want to hear it. Especially y'all that are nice and healthy and can go to the fitness club all the time. I used to do that. In fact, I was in such great shape, I had women complimenting me. I used to lift 75 pounds and I only weighed 105. Yeah, I did all that. It's probably why my body isn't all torn apart like a lot of people's are. But it's getting there. It's getting there. But I want to remind you before I go any further, why are the people in India making our drugs? Why? You don't believe me? I can tell you the name of the manufacturer. And you call them. Okay, now, let's get on with something else. Y'all think money makes you wealthy? How many people bought a Powerball before last night, hoping to win it? Do you think all that money is what makes you wealthy? Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Do you think that's what it does? Yeah. You'll get that money and you'll spend it so fast it won't be funny. And you won't be wealthy anymore, or at least not wealthy like you think. Let me tell you what makes you wealthy. Being happy with yourself. Being content. No matter what. Even us that are disabled, Mr. Kane and I are happy people. I'm Mr. Kane. He's my buddy. He's with me most of the time. But we're happy. We're at peace. We meditate. We talk to our God. I don't know if you do, but I do. Occasionally I even get visions, and you can think whatever you want, but they're true. And amazingly enough, they come true. Now, I know people that are in such bad shape right now. It's crying time. They don't understand. They want to die. They don't have peace. They don't have happiness. They just want to die. They think that there's nothing in this world worth living for. And they have a great big family. They have a daughter that has 4 children and is getting ready to pop out finally a little girl with 4 big brothers. But they'd rather do crack. See, that's the drug we need to be thinking about. We need to do something about that drug. Why aren't we doing something about that? No. Instead, they took away the substitute drugs that were the closest thing to the real thing from us. We can't get them anymore. They're on back order. The federal government won't release it. What right does the federal government have to tell my doctor to give me medicine that doesn't do hardly anything for me? What right do they have to do that? You know, I pray that none of you have to live the way I do. But I'm happy the way I live. I really am. I might wake up in the middle of the night out of a seizure. Doesn't matter, I'm kind of used to it now. I guess all that Native American in me and that old biker gal and all that strength that my daddy, my Irish daddy, and my Shawnee mother gave me came to good use. Because guess what? I'm not going to let them beat me. I'm going to be happy as can be. That's a choice. That's my choice. Now, the only thing that saddens me is when I see people I love on a terrible drug. It's called crack cocaine. And people I love who should weigh 130 pounds weigh 89 pounds. And they threw away their family. Just threw them away. That was their choice. We all make our own choices. And when we decide we want to leave this earth, we'll find a way. We will find a way. Some people do it real quick. My best friend, when I was 16, walked in front of the Chicago Northwestern commuter train. Actually, she was stumped, sitting down almost. And the engineer didn't see her till it was too late. Yeah, that was pretty sad. I was 16 years old when that happened. And then, then there's a slow way. And the people you love, you watch them. And they're taking this drug called crack cocaine. Well, that drug isn't a drug that we use for people like me. That drug is a recreational drug. Okay? That one really is. But it's so recreational, It will kill you. You get on that drug and you don't care about anybody or anything anymore. If you ever hear of heroin, it's worse. How do I know? My last husband was a crack addict. I know a lot about it. See, I've been around. I know a lot about a lot of things. But I do know that money isn't what makes us healthy, wealthy, and wise. That I can tell you. Now, some of these other people that have these wild houses and fantastic cars and, swimming pools out in their backyards, you think they're all happy people? I doubt it. I know a few. They're not happy. Not a bit. Yeah, they take those antidepressants, which makes you wonder, gee, why do they have to take those? Oh, okay, unhappy people have to take those. Did you know that probably, and I'm going to get the real statistics on this, did you know that probably a huge amount of Americans are taking antidepressants? Pregnant women are taking it. I have never had to take an antidepressant. Did you know that? Even when I was a wild woman, I never took an antidepressant. Never. I wouldn't have. If they tried to give them to me, I wouldn't even take them. I'd refuse. Now, wealthy? No, wealthy is not money. Wealthy is in here. Wealthy is up here. Wealthy is happiness within yourself. Wealthy is peacefulness within you. Just today I told a friend, I feel more at peace in my life than I have ever felt. And I know it will keep going. It will get even more peaceful. And even when things happen that are so sad, I know they're coming. But you know what? That's part of life. That is part of life. And I have to remind myself that people make their own choices in this life. And if they want to die, they'll die. If you make what we call an affirmation, and you say, I want this or I want that, guess what? You're probably going to get it. Now, whether it'll make you happy or wealthy, healthy, and wise, that's another question. Now, I might sound a little tougher this time. Well, I am. Because I sit on Google Plus and I've been on Facebook and I'll never be on Facebook again. They all sound like little kids or something. I never saw anything like it. I couldn't believe some of my family members were doing things like that. Come on. Please. It's an insult to our intelligence. No wonder things are happening in our government right now. They seem to be able to do whatever they want. Nobody fights back. Nobody says, hey, we're not going to let this happen anymore. But you know, I'm going to tell you something right now. It will change. It will change. And you don't have to be in fear. I want to help you have hope. I know for a fact that our world is going to change. And it's going to change and become so much better. I know that. And I don't care if you don't believe me. It doesn't matter. If you live long enough, you'll find out. I got a few books. Remember, Pimp in the Neck. I'm going to read you something out of The Mental Equivalent. And it talks again. Now, actually, this is from some sermons, I guess sermons or speeches that he did. Now, let me start over here. Now I'm going to do it right from here. It is always good to make a practical experiment, so I advise you to take a single problem in your life. A single problem. Something you want to get rid of. Or something you want to obtain. And change your thought about this thing and keep it changed. Do not be in a hurry to select your problem. Take your time. Take your time. Think about it. What big problem do you have that you want to change? Do not tell anyone you're doing this. Keep it to yourself. Don't be a big mouth. If you tell a friend about it, you are thereby strongly affirming the existence of the problem, which is the very thing you're trying to get rid of. So, in other words, when you start talking about it to your friend, you're reaffirming that that problem is there. You're giving it more power. You understand? And that's not what you want to do. You want to take power away from it. Okay. Now, if you tell your friend that you're going to work on your rheumatism or on lack, you are making these things very real to your subconscious mind. Also, your spiritual energy is leaking away as electricity does in what we call a ground. Now, I know y'all understand this. I know you do. I know it. Take your problem and change your mind concerning it. And keep it changed for a month. Every day, I'm going to tell you what he didn't say. He may say it, but I'm going to tell you some more. Every day, make an affirmation about it, whatever it is. Just make an affirmation. Say out loud, this problem is going to go away. Every single day, say it with every bit of your heart, soul, and mind. And let's see what old Emmett says about it. Take your problem and change your mind concerning it and keep it changed for a month. And you you will be astonished at the results you will get. And he is right. Why? I've done it. I've done it. And I need to do a lot more of it. I ain't done. If you really change your thought and keep it changed, the demonstration may come in a few hours. But to keep tensely looking for the demonstration is really affirming the existence of the problem. So in other words, don't be looking for any changes. Just do some affirmations. That's what we call it. Affirmations. I know you've heard of that. Come on. And if you haven't, I'm going to do a video on that one. The secret is to keep your thought changed into the new condition. So, keep your thought carefully, quietly expressive of the new condition that you want to produce. Believe what you are thinking, and to prove that you believe it, you must act the part. How about that? You're going to be an actor now. Okay? By changing your mind about your problem in this way and keeping it changed, you are building a new mental equivalent. A mental equivalent of harmony and success. And that mental equivalent, as we know, must be outpictured in your experience. Make sense? So for a while you will find that your thought will keep slipping back into the old rut. Such is a force of habit. But if you are quietly persistent, you will gain the victory. It is always a little difficult to change a habit, but it can be done. And then the new right habit becomes easier than the old wrong habit. And that is how a new mental equivalent is built. Change your mind and keep it changed. Do not talk about the negative thing or act as if it were there. Act as your part as though the new condition were already in being in the outer. If you will do this, the new condition will presently appear in the outer, because the outer is always but the projection and outpicturing of the inner of your soul. Of your soul. We project our own belief and call it experience. And that gives us the clue to the difference between a true action and a false or unreal action. Now I'm going to tell you something about experience. We can't always trust it, but you can use it. You can use it to help you not do the same thing over and over again. That's called, and expecting different results. That's called insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same or different results. That's called insanity. You got a bad relationship? One day you think, well, maybe it'll be better. Maybe he'll change. He's not going to change. but you can. You have a choice. You have the ability. And maybe you'll need some help. It's called faith. Well, I love y'all. I'm going to let you go for now. But I love you. And I hope you watch this one because it's important. It touched on some things that are in our country right now that are really bad. People are going to start committing suicide because they can't handle it. And maybe that's what our government wants. But I'm not one of them. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to fight them with everything I got. So I love y'all, and I'm out here to help you too. I want y'all to be the most you can be, the best you can be today. I'll talk to you soon. I love y'all. Bye.